WCW Nitro was the show that really put World Championship Wrestling on the map, enabling the promotion to compete with the World Wrestling Federation, who for the better part of nearly 2 decades had dominated the world of professional wrestling. The show would air from September 1995 to March 2001, where it would all come to an end after Vince McMahon purchased the promotion. But in the 6 seasons, we saw the show bring us a few different stages, rings, graphics, and other presentation aspects, and we're going to take a look at them today. So join me on this episode of Arena Showcase as we take a look at WCW Monday Nitro. On September 4th, 1995, the debut episode of WCW Monday Nitro hit the airwaves. The intro video features a city setting with a fire spreading through the streets, causing streetlights to blow and manhole covers exploding out of the ground. In the background on the building surfaces, video clips of WCW wrestlers can be seen. Eventually, the fire reaches the show logo, moving behind and exploding for a grand finale. All of this is accompanied by an energetic theme song. The venue for the show wasn't your typical arena setting, but instead a shopping mall. The Mall of America in Minneapolis, Minnesota to be exact. The general theming for the on-screen graphics usually featured diamond plate, flames, or both, which carries over to the nameplates, which only differ slightly from announcers to wrestlers. The ring was set up in one of the main corridors near the elevators and escalators, and theming was quite simple at first with dark blue banners, a light blue canvas, blue and yellow turnbuckle pads, and black ropes. Logos would appear around the area in the form of plaques as well as projection lighting. The entry area was a barricaded and guarded area of the corridor that wasn't really decorated but still featured a decent-sized aisle. The show even featured an interview with Hulk Hogan live from his new restaurant, Pasta Mania. The second episode would take place on September 11th, and this is where we'd see what the show would look like for the next 4 years. The first few episodes featured aerial camera shots from a helicopter at the beginning of the show. In the arena, we see a stage consisting of a steel structure entry gate loaded with lights and featuring the show logo. To the left and right, large steel WCW lettering finished off in diamond plates sit on platforms slightly angled towards the stage. Announcers had their own stage to the side of the entry area, surrounded by a steel lighting structure and 5 WCW Monday Nitro logo plaques, including a larger one behind the table. For the first few months, the stage area was quite close to the ring, with the aisle being really short and often alternating between leading to the center of the ring, the corner of the ring straight on, or completely diagonal like seen here. The ring itself features a gray ring canvas, red turnbuckle pads, and black ropes. In the early days, black ring banners featured Nitro silhouettes that could display different colored backlighting from under the ring, and around the ring, we see gray floor padding. By September 25th, we see a few small changes, like Lex Luger replacing Vader in the intro video, as well as the aisle becoming quite a bit longer than before. Also new are the ring banners, where the transparent Nitro logos have been replaced with red ones. On the Christmas Day edition of Nitro in 1995, we see holiday theming as well as a rotated commentary table which now faces away from the crowd. From July 8th to August 5th, 1996, Nitro would take to Disney's MGM Studios theme park in Orlando, Florida. Basic elements of the stage would be deconstructed and reassembled a bit differently for these shows, like the entry gate, which was placed diagonally from the ring, with the WCW stage logos being off to one side instead of mirrored on both. Around the immediate area in the park, WCW banners, letters, and plaques can be seen, along with towers built for wide camera shots, which also house lighting. Over at the ring, everything for the most part remains the same, but this would mark the debut of the flame padding around the ring, which would be used for many more years. By the end of 1996, we see the addition of a video screen which sits up above the commentary stage to the side of the entry area. On March 10, 1997, WCW would host its first annual spring breakout version of Monday Nitro, which would air live from Panama City Beach, Florida at Club La Vila. The entry area remains the same as we would normally see, complete with the WCW lettering on both sides, but things start to change a bit when heading to the ring. A platform was constructed over the pool so that the ring could be set up over the top, with bridges used to access the area. Everything would remain pretty much the same here, with the exception of PlayStation and TNT logos wrapped around the ring posts. Despite the NWO debuting almost an entire year earlier, the intro video still featured shots of classic red and yellow Hulk Hogan until about mid-1997, where clips of the Giant replaced him. Another change would come as the video screen would be moved closer to the entry area, almost directly above one of the steel WCW logos. On the December 22, 1997 episode of Nitro, the New World Order would take over the show, completely redesigning the set to reflect its new hosts. They would even have their own intro video, showing heavily filtered clips of the faction's wrestlers while cutting back and forth to a man constructing a logo for the show. Over at the stage, the WCW lettering has been removed and a giant steel version of the show logo was dropped in at the center of the stage. Large banners displaying the new logo were dropped all around the arena. Over at the announce table, we also see some change in the addition of a new logo, and to top things off, there's an all-new graphics package that takes up about a third of the screen and features a white font inspired by the NWO logo. Spring Breakout 1998 would take place on March 16th and would once again come to us live from Club La Vila in Panama City Beach, Florida. Not much has changed here, only a few advertisements differ and the logos on the ring posts don't make a return for 1998. On August 9th, 1998, we see a brand new ring canvas, which now features the show logo. In December, we once again see a Christmas theme on Nitro, closing out the year of 1998. On March 22, 1999, we saw the third annual Spring Breakout edition of Nitro, once again from Club La Vila, and just like the previous year, almost everything remains the same with the exception of the new ring canvas. The next week on Nitro, we see the padding around the ring change from the gray with flames format to all black, possibly a sign of things to come the next week. On April 5th, 1999, Nitro would see its first overhaul since the show first aired in 1995. The very first thing we see is the new WCW logo, followed by an all-new intro video showing off the new logo, as well as the Nitro Girls, with clips of wrestlers mixed in. The first thing we notice is a completely new stage area, which actually consists of a steel structure in the shape of the new WCW logo. The bottom of the C in the logo stretches down the ramp with screens hanging up above to the left and right, and smaller screens in the heart of the set, which usually display the show logo or spell out World Championship Wrestling. A black curtain with little white lights hangs behind the entire design, finishing off the new look. The graphics package is completely new, and while the same fire theme is used here, the diamond plate designs were dropped. Over at the ring area, we see the same black ropes, red turnbuckle pads, and the previous week's black padding around the ring, but the ring canvas is new, featuring the updated show logo, and the banners are now completely gray. By the end of 1999, not a whole lot has changed, but we do see a redesigned ring. Flames have once again been added to the padding around ringside, as well as banners that now feature the show logo, as well as flames, and these banners are once again black. Spring Breakout 2000 would see a new location, this time coming to us from South Padre Island, Texas. This would mark an all-new look for the special edition of Nitro, with a new stage consisting of a rectangular steel frame housing a WCW Nitro banner with lighting above, below, and to the sides housed on larger scaffolding. The ramp and aisle lead down to the corner of the ring, which features the typical Nitro look, but here we don't see the flame logos on the ringside padding. A year after we saw the overhaul of Nitro in 1999, we see yet another on April 10th, 2000. We get an all-new intro video featuring heavily filtered clips with flashes of the Nitro logo ending with an explosion of fire. While the graphics package remains the same, just about everything else is new here. The stage area now features a large video screen surrounded by steel lighting structures with the entry gate underneath. Behind the setup, we would see a semi-transparent light-colored backdrop. Above the entire set, we see lights stretching the entire length of the backdrop. At the ring area, we see red ropes, black turnbuckle pads, and the same ring banners previously used, and while the ring canvas still contains the show logo, the color has been changed to light blue. Shortly after the change, by summer of 2000, we would see some other minor changes, one being the backdrop behind the stage area returning to the black one with small lights that was used in 1999. At the ring, we see not only the removal of the show logo on the ring canvas, but also the color returning from light blue to gray. 6 months after receiving a facelift, Nitro would get another in October of 2000. The stage would feature a larger screen that now sits directly on the stage, meaning that instead of entering from the middle of the set, wrestlers would walk around the structure. This setup also housed numerous lighting structures around the screen and multiple backdrops. The ring area wouldn't see any changes during this time. By the end of 2000, the dark backdrop with the small lights on it would return once again, sitting behind the entire entry area structure. We would also see inconsistencies with rope color during this time, sometimes appearing either red or blue. We wouldn't see any more changes until the final episode of WCW Monday Nitro, which just so happened to be the Spring Breakout edition. The show would return to its original home of Panama City Beach, Florida, but wouldn't take place at Club La Vila. The stage area sort of resembled early 90s pay-per-view sets used by the promotion, with a simple entry gate with just a few logos and lights present, and a classic-style video screen off to the side, which consists of numerous smaller screens, quite different from the rear projection screens the company used at the time. The aisle features a bend as the entry area doesn't actually face the ring, and speaking of the ring, we see the return to the black rope red turnbuckle pad combination and a giant lighting structure built around the entire ring area. The end of the show featured a live feed from WWF Raw, leading the outro graphics to appear over a shot of Vince McMahon. The very last footage we would see from WCW after the show went off the air would be a message that reads "Good night and goodbye," while the classic WCW Nitro theme plays once again for the very last time. And that's WCW Monday Nitro. It's funny looking back, it's hard to believe that the show only aired for 6 years. It felt like such a long time back then. The show saw a lot of changes, mostly in its last 2 years. Which one was your favorite? Let me know in the comments section, and as always, Thanks for watching Arena Showcase.